so we can record all this. Okay, now that we're live, we are live now, and so welcome everybody to Tuesday's Facebook Live coffee break. I'm not drinking my coffee as I indicated yesterday. I am having my energy drink. But as I was saying, those are the two koala bears I got from the NDPA conference from Ross Gage from Australia. I don't think he holds that position anymore, but he was the executive director for the Australian Swim School Association in Australia. Laurie Lawrence will be speaking. I'm looking forward. I've spoke with him on the phone. I've had some time speaking with him. He's got a great program in Australia. He will be at the NDPA conference this year. So looking forward to meeting him face to face. And I'm sure he's going to be the center of attention from a lot of people. So hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of time with him. He's an icon in the water safety world. So with that being said, actually, I had a little planned thing I was going to do here today, and as I usually do, I wake up and in my thoughts and prayers and everything that I do in the morning, I was led to talk about something else. I saw something on somebody else's on Facebook this morning, and it just really led me to believe that there are so many people out there that are struggling with something, and so what I want to do is talk to you about the unthinkable and what the unthinkable might be in your life or in somebody else's life that you may be working with. Okay. And it's the power of what I refer to as the power of going small and in the one thing. Okay. You know, and we all have these days. I'm sure we all have these days, and we really think, you know, that when we wake up in the morning, do you ever feel just overwhelmed? Do you ever feel that you just can't seem to focus on what it is you do, no matter how much coffee you have, no matter who or what you listen to, no matter what's going on, and you just and I know we all feel overwhelmed. And how many of you think, raise your hand if you believe you're a multitasker. But realistically, nobody can really actually multitask their way, you know, to success or their way to anything great. Multitasking is just doing multiple things at one time. And anytime you do anything more than one thing at one time, something has to suffer. So, you know, I always use this analogy, you know, how many of you could, you know, cook something on the stove and stir the pot of chili or whatever while you're changing a baby's diaper? Probably can't do that one. If you think you could, you probably should, just like texting and driving. You know, normally we have to focus on the one thing that we're doing at that one point in time. So overwhelm is really just all this stuff coming into your mind's just racing. So, you know, my solution is to go small, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm talking about here. I've talked with some people this over the weekend, and we are using this in our coaching and when we're working with people, and we're seeing some results. We're seeing some positive things. And this is what I am using and have been using for quite some time. When I look back, there's been times in my life I just don't stick to it. And how many of us can say that, you know, you do something in life that you just don't stick to like you should. So I'm going to walk you through what I'm talking about here this morning. So with that being said, because like, as I was referring to, I believe there's somebody out there that might need to hear this. When we talk water safety, you know, it's raise your hand if you, or just, you know, click the like button or whatever. How many of you ever feel like when you see something in your news feed of a water safety accident or a drowning or something that, you know, is either potentially dangerous, and you feel frustrated because you feel like nobody's listening, your message is just not getting out there. You know, just click the like button or something. Let me know that you agree with that, because I see that all the time. I saw that today in a video of a boy climbing up on a little car. So, of course, my mind asked me 50 million questions. Why was the parent filming that? But then she explained why. It makes total sense. And that's exactly why what we do is so important, to tell stories. This is another reason why we are taking our podcast. We're launching. This will be this is our second full year. It's our third season, really, realistically, I believe, I guess you could say. Um, and we're in the process of relaunching. We're going to repackage that. We've got a new focus and with the direction with the podcast. And keep an eye on that, on what you're seeing with that. And it's going to be much more story-based, story-related, telling the stories behind this. And we're going to be we've been focused on marketing towards aquatics professionals. We are switching gears on that, and we are going to start marketing to the public. So that's going to be huge. So many of you here may be on my list. You may be getting a message from me to get a time scheduled, because we want to tell those stories as we're moving forward into our third season. So another way that we're going to reach 100 million people. It's all part of the one thing, which our one thing is saving 185,000 lives from fatal drowning and saving over 1 million lives from non-fatal drowning. The two, in my opinion, are just as important. One is not any more important. The two groups are separate in many ways. Look at the groups on Facebook, and you'll see that there are some crossover with some of the members, but for the most part, there are two separate groups doing the same thing. And they're all about education. They're all about educating people to prevent these type of accidents. That's what these stories are going to tell. We're putting together a format for that. And so keep a lookout for that. But that's all part, like I said, that's all part of our one thing that we're working on. Now, I'm going to walk you real quick. This will be kind of, hopefully this will be a little shorter coffee break than normal. I'm going to walk you through what I'm referring to, the one thing, especially when we feel overwhelmed. We just don't know what we need to do. Or have you ever felt like you're just not getting anything done, but you're busier than you've ever been? I mean, that's me. I will admit to that. I am busy. I could show you my calendar. I have I have two colors on my calendar, actually three, but there's blue. Blue is things that I'm doing. That really, in my opinion, just things that I need to get done type stuff. There is gold, or it's actually banana on my Google Calendar, and that color is what I refer to as gold. It's what I refer to as mining the gold, looking for opportunities, and so my calendar is to be filled with that. Like this time slot on my calendar every day at 9 a.m. is colored gold, because in this process, this is very eye-opening for me. It's very therapeutic, but at the same time, it's opened up some discussions. We've got some people making comments, asking questions. I've had some people reach out to me. So it's mining the gold. You never know what it's going to do and where it's going to lead. And not only in my business and my life and with our reach, but also with what it is that you're doing in your story. The other color is green. Green is anything that's, revenue, revenue generation, anything that's going to, potentially have that opportunity to make revenue. So those are basically the three colors on my calendar. And I try to have more gold color than I do anything, because ultimately the gold leads to everything else. So when you mine the gold, that's the one thing that I focus on, filling my calendar, because I know in conversations, because that's going to save the lives. So what I refer to as going small. Usually when we think of the problems of drowning and water safety, it's a huge problem. The boy climbing up on top of a car, the child that can't float, or this person that can't swim, or the parents on their cell phone, or, all the problems that we see in water safety. It's huge. I mean, it is so, so huge. And there's one thing that I've learned in business is, if you want to move your business forward, you've got to be laser focused. In other words, laser focused, eyes focused exactly where you're looking, and that's where you're going to go. Why do you think they put blinders on the side of the horses? They have the blinders on the side of the horses because, they are keeping them focused, going straight forward. But in water safety, we've got all these distractions. We see this in our social media. We see this in everything we're doing, the people we're talking to, and what we're trying to accomplish. So we've got to, which can cause a lot of overwhelm, which can cause discouragement. I have conversations all the time with people that want to give this up. I know of 3 people right now that I've talked to this year that said if something doesn't change, they're going to quit. They're going to give up. Guys, if I would have said that, I would have quit and given up a long, long time ago, because you just, I there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about quitting. Why am I doing this? There's a lot of things I could be doing in business, work, whatever I want to do, that would be much more prosperous, much more financially rewarding, much more whatever. But in the end of the day, it's not about all those things. It's about the one thing. That's our goal, about saving lives. So what I refer to is, because the problems are so big, we have to go small, and we have to get in touch with ourselves. So if you will, give me a little attitude here, and I'm going to be very frank with you. And this is the process. This is exactly what I do. I will, in the mornings when I get up, I sit, and it's totally quiet. It's quiet, and I get in touch with myself. I calm myself down. I calm my thoughts. I calm those thoughts down, and to the point where I take 3 deep breaths, and this is my time to come to God. This is my time for prayer. This is my time for gratitude and for peace and for all those things that I'm thankful for. But, in the Bible, it says, you have not because you ask not. And it's amazing how powerful this can be. This can be so powerful because it's what you come away with. Many times I smile in the process. Many times I come out, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. Because don't you feel like with this water safety problem, sometimes you feel like you're the only one doing anything about it? Or, the other people are out there doing things, but sometimes you feel like you're just the only one doing something. Or maybe you might feel you're not doing enough, whatever the case may be. So I take my time, and I don't care if you want to pray to God, you want to pray to whoever, whatever, the universe, whatever the case is, it doesn't matter. Okay. This is just going small. This is just you. This is you and your thoughts. Okay. And you get laser focused, and you ask for what it is that you need to do. I go through this process, and then I turn around and I ask God, and I say, God, what is the one thing that I need to do today? What is the one thing? What's the one message I need to say today? No matter what that answer is, that's what you have to go do. So if that answer says to you, say, Rick, you need to call your wife and tell her you love her. That's what you do. If it tells you that you need to apologize to somebody, that's what you do. Because realistically, those things, that one thing that you're being told to do is really what is probably the thing that's causing you to be stuck, that's holding you back, that's keeping you from moving forward. I hope that makes sense. But it's amazing how that one thought will come into your head when you ask. You might say, well, I knew that beforehand. Yeah, but you weren't able to focus on it. So when you focus on something, you can get done. Maybe it's a phone call that you've been wanting to make for a long, long time to get that interview, or to get that spot, or to get that one program started in water safety, but you've been holding off because you're afraid to pick up the phone, because you don't know what to say. You don't know how they're going to respond. You turn around, and so that's your mind on overload, telling you all the things that you're afraid of, and the fears. And remember, fears is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. And so none of that stuff ever really happens. So you go small, get with yourself, ask God, ask him what it is, the one thing you need to do. If he tells you, if you need to make the phone call, make the phone call. Then turn around, then you can ask, when I make that call, what if I get this reaction? What if this is said to me? What do I say then? And trust me, you'll have a plan of action. Almost every phone call. Matter of fact, this is why I'm talking about this today, is because when I did this morning, what I wanted to talk about, what I was planning on going, If you remember from last week, I had talked about some slogans and some more trivia. And I read something on Facebook just probably about 30 minutes before going live. And I asked, what is the one thing? And the answer is you need to share this with this group today, because there's somebody here that needs to hear this. Somebody here that's struggling with a decision, somebody here that's just struggling with something that they need to get done, whether or not it's with water safety or it's a relationship or no matter what it is. Because the unthinkable, guys, the unthinkable is whatever you want to call it. I mean, we all have those things happen, but when we are in water safety, the unthinkable would be that we wouldn't show up today, we wouldn't do what we need to do, and possibly the person that would have hurt us didn't. And then we see a news feed tomorrow that somebody drowned, and it could be in your backyard, or it could be in the next county over. It could be all the way on the other side of the country, because when you post some stuff on social media, the message goes from here around the world like that. And that's the power of the internet. That's the power of social media. And that's why, that's why you should be doing something each day. What is the one thing you need to do today? What is the one thing that you need to do today to move your mission, to move what it is you're all about forward? Okay, because you've got this. You've got it. You know what you need to do. If it's finances and money, ask. I mean, we've been struggling with that, looking at some areas of what we need to do, and I was responded with the water safety checklist. So we started building that out to launch as part of our outreach to the general public. And the other part is the relaunch of our podcast and the restructure of our podcast in the direction we're taking that. And, I don't know what the future holds on that, but we reached a lot of people last year in our second year. And going into our third year, our plan is to double or triple that this year. So I challenge you to go small. Think of the one thing you need to do to double and triple your reach, double or triple whatever it is that you're trying to do, or to solve whatever little situation that you're trying to handle right now, or you just feel overwhelmed because you're sitting here with your coffee and you've got your to-do list and you don't know how you're going to get it all done. It's real simple. You do things one at a time. That's why I call it going small, the one thing. We all want to multitask, and we have 20, 30 things we need to do, but you can only do things one at a time. So what is the most important thing on that list that needs to be done? And sometimes we don't know we think we know, but we think they're all important. So ask. If you're not sure, ask me. I'll tell you. I mean, we'll do this together. We'll get on the phone and I'll walk you through this process. It's real simple. I do this with my wife. I do this with other people. So, and it's a very, very powerful. And I'm just going to leave it there. So, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this little segment. I know it probably wasn't a whole lot of water safety education, but I just felt that there's something that needs to be done, and hopefully this will lead you to bigger and brighter and better, greener pastures and whatever it is that you're working for there. So, hey, post in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you try this. What was the one thing that you were told to do? We'd like to hold you accountable to that and make sure that it gets done. If you need help with that, post your questions, post what it is here. That's what this group is for. It's a small group, but guys, we are mighty and we are strong. Okay. So understand, and that, with that being said, that good morning, Crystal. How are you doing this morning? And so with all that being said, because we are mighty and strong, we can help one another, and there's power in numbers. We don't need thousands and thousands of people. We've got a very small group of people that are great. You guys are contributing. You're helping one another, and hopefully you're forging some partnerships and working together and talking outside the group. That's awesome. And so guys, it is Tuesday, and it's really freaking cold here in Ohio. But we've got some errands to do, and then we've got some other things going on today. So, guys, you're all awesome. Keep up the good work. Enjoy your coffee. I'm going to get back to my energy drink here because I overslept, and I'm still trying to get woke up. So, all right, guys, my koalas here say goodbye. All right. Hey, so there you go. See you guys. Have a good one. Now I got to figure out where's my off button. There you. See you. Okay. I think we're done. This is a wrap.